friends. It's me, Dave Landau. After a long night on stage, I like to kick back with a captain's hat and a fine cigar and watch the Dennis and Andy show. These guys are huge nerds, but they're the kind that you actually want to hang out with. Enjoy them. I do.
3.
What is up, everybody? It is the Dennis and Andy show. I'm Andy. That's Dennis, who's having computer problems right before the show begins.
Wouldn't you expect it? How would it happen any other way?
I know. While he draws, hola, AJ. This goes out to all the freaks. It does. What is that? Nice intro. Thank you very much. My daughter did that, unless you're talking about the Dave Landau one, because Dave Landau did that. And the two of us are going to be seeing him and Mr. Steven Crowder in November.
And where at?
Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right.
Val, thank you for posting the link. That is true. First Man is available now. If you buy it, I should have props ready, but I never do. If you go to Indiegogo in the link below and buy this sucker now, it'll go out tomorrow. First Man will go out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow you'll get your first man. Okay, enough singing. Even though Dennis loves it when I sing. He calls me up, has me singing to sleep.
Yep, because that's what puts me to sleep, Andy singing.
I didn't read the description. What's going down? We're just going to be chatting today. We're going to talk about some comic stuff that we saw on the internet. We're going to talk about The Boys, last week's episode of The Boys. We're going to talk about this great new show that I found and I introduced Dennis to, and now he's hooked. I'm like the drug dealer. I gave him a sample, and now he's on Amazon Prime, called The Terminal List. Executive produced and starring Chris Pratt. He's a Navy SEAL. We'll tell you more later on that. It's 8 episodes. I have finished. Dennis is halfway through. He's digging it. I thought it was awesome.
It's so good. Even my wife is in on this one, and she's usually not that kind of a person. She likes fantasy, sci-fi. She likes rom-com stuff like this. This isn't normally her cup of tea. She likes it.
AJ says, Denny, you didn't need to donate both sleeves to the Def Leppard's drummer. It's true.
I did. That way he can swap them out.
Oh, that's right. When one gets sweaty, you can just yank it off and put another one on.
So, yeah, and by the way, his solo, Steve Solo, was fantastic. I mean, they actually had 2 huge screens on the side, and he did his solo. You got to see his footwork going and his one arm going. And I'm telling you, it was as good as most people's 2-arm drummers. So he has not lost a step yet. He's just as good as ever.
I bet if he could go back in time and never lose that arm, he'd go, no, thank you. I like having one because I'm so much better now.
He did.
So.
He brought his game up. Good for him. It was a great show, by the way. So, yeah, we'll start out with that because, obviously, for those who see, Def Leppard, Motley Crue, and then on the back, it's Poison, Joan Jett. Joan Jett opened up. If you guys are Joan Jett fans, she's the same Joan Jett from the 1980s. She stands the same, sings the same, plays the same, as does the band. So, kudos for them. Hi, Comicsgate.
There you go. I'm just, I was going to wear my concert t-shirt, but Dennis didn't buy me one. No friendship gifts from him.
Nope.
I go somewhere. Most of the time, I usually go, I got a surprise for you. Dennis goes somewhere, and he goes, here's your surprise.
There it is. You know what? I have a thing for concert t-shirts. I don't get people concert t-shirts unless you went to the concert. It's a concert t-shirt. It's not a Def Leppard shirt or a Poison shirt or a Motley Crue shirt. No, it's a concert shirt from Bang. From Bang there.
I know. Let's see. Motley Crue, how are those guys all still alive?
All right, so here's the rundown. Joan Jett was good, as usual. If you liked her in the 80s, even her keyboardist is an old guy. He was like an old grandfather up there. He was amazing. They're all like original, and they're just great. I mean, they're is exactly the way they were back in the 80s. Poison came on. Poison played all their hits. They stayed politics out of everything, except he did say this one has to be dedicated to the veterans because he's very pro-veteran, which was nice, which we loved. Poison played for an hour, so Joan Jett an hour, Poison an hour. Both were great. And then here's the big thing for those of you who know, and I don't see Joe on here yet. I know he's seeing him in Vegas. Motley Crue came up next. The issues are with Vince Neil. So Mick Mars actually got himself, because he's got all the back issues, and that's why they retired in the first place. He got himself into shape, and he did a great job. Nikki Sixx was great.
And here's Joe. Aloha.
See, there you go. See, told you. He got his tickets for Vegas. So Joe,
look at
I
that.
already mentioned.
I'll get you something from the concert. Dennis Glad.
Just don't get him a shirt because he didn't go to the concert.
No.
That's all I'm telling you. A poster? That's different. Something like that. But
Joan Jett poster.
yeah, we'll get you a Joan Jett poster. So, the problem was Tommy Lee cracked a rib. So he had only been playing 4 songs, sometimes 5, before they had to pull him out and did a replacement drummer. So I sat there and I was on Tommy Lee watch. I had my video camera up every time he switched, and I thought, well, he's doing Home Sweet Home on the piano in the middle of the front stage. I thought they would swap him. So I zoomed in. He walked back, got back on the drums. They walked over to talk to him. They walked back. He played the entire thing, so it was fantastic. And Vince Neil, on the other hand, Vince Neil, you've heard about his voice problems. Yep, they're all true. Every single one of them. His voice was terrible.
Is that because he also had relations with Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Very much possible. That's what his voice sounded like.
One weekend spent at Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones' place. Michael goes out of town. Next thing you know, Vince Neil has the same throat issue that Michael does.
Right? There's a saving grace, though. You may ask, what is it? The saving grace is it's a stadium tour. So literally, the bulk of them are all their popular songs. The entire stadium is singing out loud with them. They have the girls on their stage handing their guitars and everything. Absolutely fantastic. You couldn't even hardly tell because we're all singing anyway. We really weren't listening to Vince do not a great job. He did get through it. Kudos to the rest of the band, though, for putting it up. And then finale was Def Leppard. And as usual, I've seen Def Leppard so many times. Absolutely fantastic. A great show. They're so polished. They've been nonstop touring. Good job. Anyway, great concert. So that's it. So yes, I did tell Andy I'll be wearing my Def Leppard shirt.
Oh, I knew one. I knew somebody would get it.
Of course, AJ would get it.
Of course. All right. So that's, he got to go. I got to be honest. The thing started at 4:30, which means they probably got there at 3:45. He said they didn't blow out of that place till 11:30. Too long for my blood. That's why I'm not a big concert goer. I can pop a CD. I can turn it on my phone, go anywhere I want with it. Oh, I got to take a squirt. No problem. Got my phone, go take a squirt. Still listening to the music. Want to get up, go to the fridge. Not a problem. I can't do any of that at a concert.
Yep. It was very hot and muggy. I wound up drinking a lot of water, and I had to go to the bathroom many, many times. But it's kind of worth it because, everybody around us was drinking beer. People were throwing up, kind of passing out, fights breaking out in terms of boyfriend-girlfriend fights. They stopped talking to each other. People just started leaving because they were all drunk. So needless to say, those of us that just drank water, stayed hydrated, we made it through the whole thing and we were in great shape. It was a great concert. So for those of you going, you will enjoy the concert.
Very nice. All right. What are we talking about first?
So
what's this breaking comic news?
Taika Waititi didn't know.
This is not how you pronounce it, but
Waititi.
Well, I didn't even
Taika Waititi.
Until you said Waititi, I didn't know who you were talking about. Taika Waititi, whatever. He's the director, as we all know, of Thor: Love and Thunder. He directed the last one too, right? And
Ragnarok.
That's it for Marvel. He hasn't directed anything else.
And he also did like Jojo Rabbit.
Right, Jojo Rabbit.
He was in Free Guy, stuff like that.
Yeah, he has a unique vision when he directs.
He does. So the interesting thing is he's been tasked He's going to be doing one of the new Star Wars movies that Lucasfilm announced.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
I didn't know either, but this little story winds up kind of confirming my fears. My biggest thing when you go back and watch our Obi-Wan Kenobi reviews and stuff like that, there were things I liked. There were a lot of things I didn't like. The biggest problem was it became evident that the people writing it really don't know Star Wars. Oh, see?
Well, no. I mean, what he's saying is, like, in interviews and stuff, I got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the guy either. I don't, I liked Ragnarok. I like Jojo Rabbit. When he acts, like in Free Guy, I saw him in something else too, besides Jojo Rabbit.
He was in that vampire show.
He's not
Out of the Shadows.
His acting isn't, it's not Oscar worthy. It's not bad. It's good enough. But just in person with like interviews and stuff, I don't know. Something about him just rubs me the wrong way.
I gotta feel he's so whimsical. And the way that he does things, I've got a feeling he doesn't act, that it's just him. I got a feeling that's just who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he could just always basically when they cast him, just be like, just, do you. Just do you.
Right. So my biggest problem with Obi-Wan is, as you can go back and find out because we detailed it, is the fact that the writers really don't know Star Wars. It's like they read a cheater's guide to Star Wars, kind of like
notes.
Dummies,
Dummies guide
for Star Wars, right? And they're like, oh, okay, but they don't even read all of that. They just read parts of it. And they had one of the writers admit that when they wrote Obi-Wan, they never even watched the third movie. And I'm like, but that's the entirety between episodes 3 and 4. They never watched Empire?
Which third one are you talking
about?
Third
movie, the prequel.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously when he becomes it, which obviously shows through. So here we go. Waititi has been announced he's going to be doing a Star Wars movie. And he walks up to Natalie Portman and says, hey, Natalie, guess what? Because he just finished directing her in this, said, love your acting. Would you like to be in a Star Wars movie and get into the Star Wars universe? And she's like, already kind of been in there. And I'm kind of like, pretty much the mother of Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, kind of a big deal. Princess Amidala.
Is Waititi even 40 yet? I don't know.
No idea.
So let's just say, I don't know. Let's say he's 38. I honestly have no idea how old he is. So, 20 years ago, he was 18. And it's still no excuse because he makes his living making films and stuff. And if you're a fan of Star Wars, you should know these things.
Bingo.
So, I would love to have been a fly on the wall just to see the reaction and stuff.
I would love to have seen her physical,
That's what I'm saying,
facial reactions and like, are you serious?
Right. Then I would like to have seen his. Because did it go into any detail of like what his reaction was after she said that? Like he was like,
I know he's not a big fan of the prequels, but you don't have to be a fan of it to have seen it. You have to know the material if you're going to delve into it. And this instantly tells me Disney Star Wars is like, yeah, we don't care.
He's going to need Natalie to bulk up a bit more. What? Deborah Chow did an interview in Canada where she admitted that growing up, she, what's that say?
Kind of like Star Wars.
Kind of like Star Wars. Okay. I kind of liked it. Do we even know where this movie would take place? Would it be after?
Don't know.
And it would be after and actually done well, or?
Well, we don't know because they haven't really announced too much other than that he's going to be doing it. So he's like, yeah, I'm on it. Kind of like what J.J. Abrams did to Star Trek. Really didn't know crap about Star Trek. It's kind of like Kevin Smith saying he's a He-Man fan, and I'm going to do Revelations. They give it to him, and we find out he never watched it.
Well, I mean, the reason I ask is because they've already done 3 movies with Rey and stuff that were after, you know, everything. So if they do these after, is it go in, you know what, ignore that stuff. You got a clean slate, or is it nope? We're going to stick behind our guns. These are canon. So if you do something in between,
No
or
idea.
if you do something after,
If anybody has seen anything on that, go ahead and post it in the chat. Here's what they need to do to wipe all of this crap clean. Let's do Knights of the Old Republic. Let's go somewhere where we haven't gone before.
But he could direct that.
That would be fantastic if he could do that right.
And he could pull Natalie Portman in because it's 20 years later. She looks older.
Knights of the Old Republic, way earlier.
Oh, way earlier.
Like 1,000 years beforehand, where you're dealing with some of the original Sith and stuff like that. Darth Revan. I mean, let's do something like that.
As
anyway,
you can tell, not a big, not a Star Wars fan, but not enough to be able to have told you when Knights of the Republic was.
So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of the first news. So I'd love to hear your reactions on that. Star Wars not coming back. Randy posted. Star Wars not coming back to a movie theater
Probably
anytime soon. Well, they made the big announcement, but like with current Lucasfilms, they'll announce it and it'll just disappear or get radically changed and realize we don't have the budget for it, so we're just going to turn it into a Disney Plus show and pad it. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, would have been a much better Obi-Wan 2.5-hour movie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right, what do we got next? What's happening?
Tinny Howard. So
you're the X guy, so that
I am the
doesn't
X-Men.
really mean anything to
Yep.
me.
So you guys know that I dropped all Marvel and DC books. I'm just done with them. And I guess I did not cancel, but in a nick of time. Tinny Howard's brand new Excalibur / Knights of X, because it's really the same book. They just relaunched it again because it was already dying numbers. And the new one has already been canceled after 5 issues. Tinny Howard, well, I know she's a fantasy and a D&D type of a girl. She is one of the worst writers that I've ever seen. When it comes to X-Men, she literally destroyed my beloved X-Men. And Jonathan Hickman at least started going in a positive direction, but Marvel already canceled it. Whack. We're whacking that one off after the 5th issue.
They're whacking it off.
After the
Marvel's
5th issue.
whacking off Excalibur. Why? Oh, why, Marvel? You could cut your hand because that's a sword.
Yes.
Whacking off Excalibur.
But she does manage to let us know that, don't worry, Betsy Braddock, the new Captain Britain, will be going on another most fantastic adventure ever. Just give me Brian Braddock back and let's reset the entire universe.
I'm a huge, huge Captain Britain fan. Brian Braddock, the Excalibur from the 80s that Chris Claremont and Alan Davis did. Then Alan Davis did a stint as the writer as well. I love that stuff. I love that core team with Nightcrawler and Rachel and Megan and Captain Britain, Shadowcat. I think that was the whole team. I love that core team. Bring Captain Britain back for the love of God and put him back in that classic costume that he had from back then. Jesus. We're not asking for a lot here.
Yep, I agree. So let's see. Weekend at Bernie's, Adventures in Babysitting, Thor, Adventure. So by the way, speaking of Adventures in Babysitting, I got my niece and nephew. I had them over the weekend. They had never seen Karate Kid. Elizabeth Shue, which tied directly in. I'm like, oh my God, they've never seen Adventures in Babysitting.
But why any of this is surprising to you? Tell them how old they are. They're what, 14 and 10 or something? 14 and 12?
12 and 14.
12 and 14. Hey guys, newsflash. 12 and 14-year-olds haven't seen these movies that came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
that is so
Andy
far
has
back
never
in
seen
history.
E.T. or
because I have
Gremlins.
taste.
No,
I've seen Adventures of Babysitting. I've seen The Karate Kid, but for them, my daughter hasn't seen them, and she's 19.
Your daughter only watches Star Wars. That is not an example.
She watched Deadpool 2.
Oh,
today.
Deadpool 2.
Well, just
that is true.
They're doing a Lucas, John Favreau, and Dave Filoni cut for the sequel trilogy. Why? Oh, yeah. Really? Huh.
I hadn't heard about that.
I hadn't either.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is, and kind of makes me sad. So anyway, we watched Karate Kid, which is Elizabeth Shue, which was first season of Boys, but of course, Adventures in Babysitting. So they have never seen that one either. So next time I have to babysit them, guess what we're watching? Yep, they get to see real Thor.
You know, I didn't hate it. Courtney Cox was in that, right? Wasn't she in Adventures? Or am I thinking
it's Elizabeth Shue.
Oh, it's Elizabeth Shue as well. Oh, okay. That's where you're
She's the
going with
babysitter.
Right,
Yep.
right. Oh, Courtney Cox was in the one in Masters of the Universe.
Is the mechanic who actually plays Thor.
Right.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know. It's one of those. It's one of those super early Vincent D'Onofrio.
Right. That doesn't even look like him. It's just so amazing.
But yeah, no, that's cool. I remember that movie. I was thinking Courtney Cox. She was in Masters of the Universe, wasn't she?
Oh, that Dolph Lundgren one?
Wasn't she in that?
I don't remember. That was such a horrible... I remember Dolph, and I remember laughing through it.
Oh, I should have brought that up last night. Last night on The Professionals was comics to TV or movie done well or done bad.
Yeah.
So my first one for done bad was... oh, damn it. I know Art liked it because I picked it, and he was like, what? Now I'm blanking on it, but I was going to say Masters of the Universe would have went right in that niche of comic to TV film done bad.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That would have nailed it.
Bionic Woman?
No, well, Bionic Woman wasn't a comic, no.
It became a comic after the show.
That's right. Wait, where is it? There you go. Pre-Gomer Pyle.
That's right.
Pre-eating the end of his
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. My 18-year-old daughter, 16 son, 11-year-old son have watched Karate Kid. All right. Well, that's fine. What, Andy? It's a good parent's job.
Correct. That is the point. You got to bring your kids up right. They need to have seen The Goonies, E.T., Gremlins, some of the stuff from our childhood. That was good movies back then.
I don't think I've seen Elizabeth Shue. No, I don't think so. No,
I don't think so. I don't think she's ever done it.
She's a good girl. She's not a whore that takes her clothes off for money.
Of course, in Boys Season 1, while not naked, kind of gets close, and then it goes creepy on Homelander.
Oh, yeah.
All I could think of is Mommy's Milk.
Speaking of,
Speaking of The Boys.
I'm talking about The Boys.
Let us talk about this episode.
One episode left. Friday is the season finale, right? It is.
Yes.
Friday's the season finale. I guess they released a clip, too, where basically Black Noir and Homelander team up to take down Soldier Boy.
Oh, I didn't see the clip. But I kind of figure it's going to happen.
I liked in this last week's episode the stuff with Black Noir where he goes back to a place that had good memories, which is like a Chuck E. Cheese, it looked like.
Right, with all the cartoon, and kind of like Chippendale.
Well, not only that, but you actually get to see why he doesn't talk.
Right.
Because they basically did the flashback of him in the 80s with Soldier Boy and their team, but all with the cartoon animals from Chuck E. Cheese.
It was a really cool, because my wife's like, I know nothing about Black Noir yet. And I'm like, they purposely did it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's different. I mean, this is different than what the comics were. But they've done such a good job that he's an enigma. And then all of a sudden, Homelander's like, it's a good thing. You're always going to be there. I can count on you. I can trust you. He no more than leaves. He stabs himself, rips out the tracker, and just takes off. It was one of the greatest, funniest scenes. I'm like, yeah, that was awesome.
It was. Oh, Joe has a comment, because I do remember this. The last round was Guilty Pleasures last night on The Professionals with movies, and I said it was Green Lantern. So there you go. My guilty pleasure. Green.
Yeah, Lantern. I don't know how that's a pleasure. You mean guilty torture?
No. Yeah. Anyhow, so we got that in The Boys last week. So we got more backstory information on Black Noir finally, which was cool. Because up until this point, I don't think they ever touched on why he doesn't speak in this. And we still haven't seen his face. No, even though I was curious, so I did IMDb to see who the actor is.
Yep.
And I mean, it's nobody. I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
But it's somebody that they did want to take his mask. I'm hoping they do, but I'm thinking his face is really scarred as well from just that flashback.
Well, we kind of, if you read the comics, you already kind of knew it was, but I was interested to see their take and everything on this. And we got to see him unmasked for the first time as a cartoon.
Right.
Which was great. So we know he had a normalish face.
Yeah, and he spoke.
Then, right. It was actually it was a cool way to do it because they basically gave you his entire origin wrapped up in a neat little hallucinatory cartoon in his head. It was great.
And then we got to see A-Train. Because if you remember the episode before this one last week, A-Train, this racist hero hurt A-Train's brother. A-Train grabbed him by the ankle and just took off at super speed, dragging him along the ground, which left him a total mess. And we find out, and we knew from the previous season, A-Train has a bad heart and he's not supposed to run. Well, he woke up in the hospital with a heart transplant from the racist hero he killed.
Oh, so, that was great, too.
And the look on his face was about, I'd rather be dead.
Yep. And she's like, hey, A-Train's back. We gave you a heart. You're back, right. Baby.
That's okay, Andy. The Phantom is a favorite of mine, and everyone else hates it.
I don't hate it.
No, dude. You didn't see the bros last night? Tisk, AJ. Because we did bring up the Phantom, and everybody on the panel loves it.
Yeah. How do you not?
Yeah.
Billy Zane, baby. Billy
now,
Zane.
One of the guys it was Art. I believe it was Art that hated Dick Tracy. Which, well, actually, I think we were split 3-3 because I wasn't a big fan of Dick Tracy either.
I'm not either.
But we'll see. So anyhow, so that's what's with A-Train. He got a new heart that he definitely does not want because it came from a racist. There was a big twist with Homelander at the end.
Yeah. We get to see what happened to Queen Maeve. So, Homelander's got her. Well, they didn't really touch on it.
Yeah, but you knew she wasn't dead.
Well, you know she was dead, but now you know where she is.
Right.
They got her in like this 1 thick foot steel wall cell where it is like no way. Even Homelander probably couldn't get out of it. It was built for that. So that's actually fantastic. But then it gets really creepy because she basically goes, is that a black eye? Did you did you cover it up? You've got it. What do you call
foundation?
It? Foundation.
Or cover up or whatever.
Then he gets mad because she notices. But that's because Soldier Boy and the boys kind of got him a little bit scared and she notices. She goes, for the first time ever, I've seen you scared.
Yeah. And he was. I mean, that's the thing. I guess I was wondering, I guess they basically built a cell to hold her knowing what her power strength is. Because I was like, wait a second, why is she just breaking out of that joint?
Well, when you look at it, I bet they didn't build it for her. I bet they built it for Soldier Boy type person.
Right, it was
so
built
it
for
was
somebody.
built for everybody.
I don't think
nobody could get out of that.
I don't think Homelander couldn't get out of that. I mean, he's basically Superman. Superman can get out of that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, he's never going to be in it, so it doesn't matter.
I know. So, and then Frenchie and Kimiko, they were awesome. That was another big story.
Jeez, that's such a nice. Like the thing with the boys is you do have good relationship between characters in it, even to the extent of the romance between those two characters. And it's nice. You really feel for them. They do a really good job of getting you invested into the characters. And she got her powers back, which
she wanted V, and she got Starlight to go get her the V, which was awesome because she sneaks in, and then as soon as she steals it, she's in there in the elevator, and there's Homelander. Did you not think I would know you were here? Oh, busted! And that's where it takes. And then she does something smart.
That's where it takes a dark turn.
Homelander threatens her, and she goes, "Oh, I'm glad my 1.8 million viewers get to see it," and that puts him on his heels right away, which was great. There's such good writing in here, and the different characters and the chemistry that they have. You know, you got Butcher, which everybody wants to hate him, but you can't help but kind of love him and hate him at the same time.
Chicks dig the V. So do dudes.
Yeah. Huey and Starlight's relationship is good. I mean, this show has absolutely fantastic writing, good stories. What's he saying?
He's with me. I said that I think Batman 66 is really, as a kid I got it, but it's not anything I'd go back and rewatch now.
Right.
Just because it's a little too goofy for me. And Graham, it's one of his favorites.
Yep.
And stuff. And I'm glad you brought up one movie there. So Billy's favorite movie of all time is The Rocketeer. Oh. Not of all time, but for this genre we were talking about.
Yeah.
And he actually has one of the helmets they used as a mold to make. Of course
he does.
And by the way, guys, everybody watching, yes, I have not seen E.T. because I have taste. Dennis has never seen Rocketeer because he's foolish.
No, I've seen The Rocketeer. No, I've seen it.
Oh, you saw it and just hated it.
No, that's all right.
It was just okay.
I've never been a huge Rocketeer fan. I wasn't a fan of it. It was all right. I would not go out of my way for it. Yeah, whatever.
I like it. In fact, I got jazzed. We were talking about it last night and the great performances and stuff. I might have to watch it over the weekend. So a young Billy Campbell, a young Jennifer Connelly.
See, I know. I remember it. It was all right. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's kind of right in there. It's kind of like the original the campy stuff. The original Battlestar Galactica. I love Galactica. The original one, the original series.
Going to start watching The Boys. Do it. You got Amazon Prime. Take advantage of it and do it.
Right. It costs you nothing, and it's good.
See, he knows.
Oh.
What's up?
I don't know. And back in the day, I remember going to the theater for it. I liked it. That's the reason why I like Recess Pieces.
Well, I like Reese's Pieces too because I have good taste. All right, so moving on to the new show. The new show on Amazon Prime. Is it The Terminal List?
The Terminal List.
The Terminal List. I'm looking for something to watch last week. It was I think it was Friday night, and Amazon Prime's got this, The Terminal List.
Hit AJ right there.
Jennifer Connelly and career opportunities for the win.
Bing, bing, bing. AJ wins in her white tank top and roller skating around Target. Oh, yeah. That was right after she had her enhancement. And then later on,
taken down.
No, she had them put in and then later removed.
Oh, okay. Because we were talking about that last night, and Aaron said that she was always big and she just had them reduced.
Oh, I don't remember that. I remember them built in.
I don't know either way.
I have to talk to Aaron.
So yeah, Aaron said that it was the opposite.
She had it reduced after this movie sometime.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But anyhow, so The Terminal List, I saw it come up. I recognize Chris Pratt, and I'm like, what is this? So I hit trailer, watched the trailer. It's an 8-episode series. All the episodes dumped at once on Amazon Prime. It stars Chris Pratt, who's a Navy SEAL, who goes out on a mission with his team of 13 guys, 12, 13 guys, something like that. And we don't want to give too much away. So basic plot, goes out on this mission. Shit goes wrong, and they're down in these tunnels. I can't remember what country they're in. Was it Syria?
Yeah, I think it started in Syria,
yeah. So they're down, in these tunnels. Anyhow, shit goes wrong. His whole team gets wiped out. He's the only survivor. And then when he gets back, they're debriefing him. And in the debrief, they play back a recording because obviously all these guys are on mics and stuff when they're doing their stuff so they can talk to command, whatever.
They got video and they've got open comms.
Yep. So they play back the recording, and Chris is like, wait a second, that's not what happened. What are you talking about? And
they're blaming Boozer, which was his buddy, for doing it. Now, Boozer did have an issue at the beginning, which is cool. Right. And they're like, yeah, I got him hooked up on IV. He'll be fine, just a little dehydrated. Because, when it's hot there, it's easy to get dehydrated.
Exactly. We also learned of Andy's penile reduction. Well, they were talking about Jennifer Connelly's boob reduction, and I had to bring up that I can feel her pain because I always got mistaken for a porn star. So I finally said, take a good 6 or 7 off. I'll still be fine.
Yep. That's why your wife's sitting there going and pulling episode 3 Darth Vader. No.
Yeah, because they're down in these tunnels. And they're down in these tunnels. And anyhow, so the Terminal List. The Terminal List. I'm looking for something to watch last week. It was like, I think it was Friday night, and Amazon Prime's got this, The Terminal List. It stars Chris Pratt, who's a Navy SEAL, who goes out on a mission with his team of 13 guys, 12, 13 guys, something like that. And think so. So anyhow, go ahead. Sorry, Boozer.
So Boozer,
He did have an issue.
So there he did, and at the scene you can see Boozer and one of the other, we'll call them newbie guys, not part of the squad, running, and they've got tripwires underneath with basically with explosive lined all the way up through the walls, and it's the other guy who trips it, and boom, they blow up. Pretty much the entire team gets wiped out except Boozer and Chris Pratt.
Then it becomes a gun battle, of course. The gun battle.
The gun battle was before it, and then the explosion.
And then the explosion, yeah. So everybody gets wiped out except for Chris Pratt and whoever this actor is that plays Boozer. And Chris Pratt's name is John Reese.
James
Reese. And I mean, it's freaking phenomenal. I mean, it's definitely a role I've never really seen Chris Pratt play before. He played a SEAL in, I think it was the movie they made about Bin Laden, and he wasn't a star of that movie, though. He was just kind of like a background SEAL. So you didn't really get to see much of his acting in it. So other than that, it's basically, we see his character from Jurassic Park movies. We see his character, Star-Lord, and how he acts that way. We see him, I was trying to think of it. Parks and Rec.
Oh,
I can't think of any other major stuff he's done.
Yeah, he's done a complete opposite role.
This is just totally complete opposite, totally serious, really no joking. There's nice emotional depth to it. Like I said, I already finished all 8 episodes. He's got 4 to go. But there's a good range of emotional depth. The story, I thought, was really intriguing and fascinating, as it's like an onion. Each episode, just more layers get peeled back, and you're let in on what's happening. And I thought that was really cool.
It's kind of like an amalgam. If you take something with the intrigue of like Tom Clancy, with his stuff, and then you take the action of like Black Hawk Down, and then you kind of roll them together, and it's kind of like, whodunit, but we already had known some of it because we got to see it, but we know what we saw was wrong, what they're saying. So now we're trying to piece together, well, why is the government basically saying that Boozer did it when we know he didn't do it? Or is everything that we see going on in his mind because there's something wrong? Because he gets blown. So it's a really cool scene. He gets blown back. You see him go right into the wall. He gets completely knocked out. You see him being dragged by the cuff in the water, being dragged in the water, trying to get out of there. So he's got, at best, a concussion, could have something worse in there. So, but the government starts playing the NCIS guys, and I think it was FBI to start with.
FBI, yeah.
And then they start playing back audio, and he goes, "That I never said that. That didn't go down." Well, your first thoughts instantly like, "Whoa, wow, he's got brain damage. He's not doing it." So then you start, disbelieving everything he's saying, except there are so many little clues. You're like, yeah, but what about that? What about that? So there's this intrigue, and you're constantly trying to figure out. And like you call it, it's an onion. You're peeling back layers, trying to figure it out.
This isn't a show that you can just watch the first or second episodes and go, okay, now I know the voices, so I can kind of watch and do something else. Because there's a lot of visual stuff that you need to pick up on and see. Chris Pratt's brother in the armed forces is Taylor
Kitsch.
Taylor Kitsch. We all know Taylor Kitsch from, I first saw him on Friday Night Lights, the TV show, but then he was John Carter.
John Carter.
Another
underrated movie, by the way, like The Phantom. My son and I, we had gone to see a screener for that when Disney put it out. And we walked out of there going, wow, we really love this movie. Yeah. All of the critics, because we sat, so they had 2 rows for the formal reviewers, the famous ones, right in front of us. We were in the row right behind him. We were sitting there, my son and I were like, this was a good movie. They all hated it. All the professional reviewers hated it. All they did was bitch and complain the entire time when the movie ended. Just saying, another really underrated movie. I enjoyed it.
Anyhow, you were correct. Part of it was marketing. I did a whole thing when I was live a couple of days ago where I was like, Hey, buddy, you want to go see a movie? Yeah, dude, what is it? Oh, man, it's called John Carter. And it's about a guy named John Carter. It is. Oh. Or, hey, buddy, you want to go see a movie? Sure, what is it? John Carter, Warlord of Mars. Fuck yeah, I'm in. He's a warlord of Mars.
Or
we're going.
Force.
And there's a naked chick in it that's hot. Oh, yeah. And there's four-armed creature. Oh.
Yeah, from Wolverine.
Shitty marketing. Wait, it was for Wolverine?
Silver, what was her name? Silver Fox? That was who played Deja Thor. She played in one of the Wolverine movies, the girlfriend, the really hot one.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, learn something new every day. The more you know.
Wait, Taylor Kitsch is in it. He plays a really good character. And I'm still at that point. I'm trying to figure out all the characters. You know, is character A good or bad? Is character B good or bad? Who knows what? And then Constance Wu plays Katie, and she's this
she's cool.
reporter.
She's a reporter.
Oh, she's adorable. She's absolutely adorable in here. And at first, she was a typical reporter. You just want to reach to the TV and slap her and say, bad reporter. Well, then you start realizing maybe she's not bad. Maybe she is just trying to find the truth.
Funny thing, I actually want to reach through the screen and slap her too, for another reason.
Of course.
Spank that behind. You go, Constance Wu.
Jeannie Triplehorn. I haven't seen her in a while.
I know,
she
right?
She's the Secretary of Defense.
She's the Secretary of Defense. I tell you what.
She still looks good.
There is no woke BS in this show. And I don't give a crap that they have a female playing the Secretary of Defense. That's fine as long as they have the right attitude and stuff. And she does, she's a pretty baller Secretary of Defense, so that's totally cool. Yeah, sorry, I just had to interject with that.
She was great. I really don't remember in a memorable role like that since probably The Firm. That's probably the last time that maybe there's one I'm missing, but I loved her in that. But no, she plays a hard ass, and she just it was nice. But you're right, there is no. I'm only up through episode 4, so I'm halfway there. There's not an ounce of wokeness in this, which is just really nice.
Yeah, it's good. Let's see, Joe Bernardo. Chris Pratt was really good in The Magnificent Seven. That's it, Magnificent Seven. Passengers. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like Passengers. What's below?
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
I did like Passengers. I thought that was
Passengers was good. It's Tomorrow.
The Tomorrow War.
Yep. Totally forgot about that.
I did too.
I think they're doing a sequel.
The Magnificent Seven version is so good.
Yeah, but the thing is, with all those movies, it's not that he's playing Chris Pratt, but I still think this one has more depth to the character than I've ever seen him give in a performance more, because it is just the drama. It's not that there aren't jokes in it. I mean,
right.
Him and Taylor Kitsch's character, they're best buds, so they joke back and forth. You know, so you get some lighthearted moments that way. But overall, this is it's a thriller.
But you see him being in command of his troops, right? You see all that incredible stuff. And then he's a family man sitting back there with this little girl playing guitar, actually singing to her and stuff like that, talking about the drawings. I mean, he actually shows a lot of depth in acting in this show, which you just don't see, because usually whatever he's in, it's a stereotype, you know. It's in Magnificent Seven. I love that movie, and he was great in it, but that's what his character. This one, he's got a wide range, something you just don't see in his other roles, basically.
No, and considering we just saw, the last Jurassic World movie that obviously he was in, it's a big contrast from that, but I don't know. It's funny at Heroes Con, Bud hasn't seen it yet, right? Jurassic World.
Yep.
And I was like, it was Whereas Jackson loved it. Our buddy Jackson loved it.
Yeah, he texted
And I was like,
me.
really? Just, And then Ernie loved it, and he came over and he's like, I hear you didn't like it. And I said, I didn't hate Jurassic World Dominion. I just was let down because I expected so much more. And
it was just a bit of a hot mess.
Yeah, so that's all.
Again,
the dinosaurs look good.
Two stories, we reviewed it. 2 stories, and they both told their stuff, and then they kind of intersected for a little bit. Neither one was fantastically done, and it was all right. At least we got closure. That's the way I look at it. That's a positive. We have closure.
Exactly. Here, you can read that.
The biggest problem I have with modern writing is motivation. Nothing about Doctor Strange and the mom was heroic. and that is the problem. I mean, when we do our reviews, we do talk about the writing. If we look at, you all know I'm a big Star Trek fan.
What? So I'm hearing this for the first time.
Right, but what I'm saying is, when you look at all the modern Star Trek, Discovery, as much as I wanted to like it, the writing is so god-awful. I mean, you can't get past it. There's no fixing it, no matter how pretty it looks on the screen. Picard was a complete dumpster fire. Same thing. It was just absolute junk writing.
How dare you?
Right. And now we can cut over to the Orville in that genre. And the Orville is a much better Star Trek because everything is written with heart. Now, the Orville does take into consideration today's current stuff. So some of the woke topics will get brought up and talked about it, but they do it in such a good and meaningful way that there's no problem with it. The Orville is just written very, very, very well. You know, I haven't seen a sci-fi written this well since The Expanse. The Expanse was phenomenal because it was a great world builder because of the writing and how the characters that they created. It was just well done. You're right. Today's Hollywood, they don't know how to write anymore.
Yeah. Did you see, speaking of, and I saw Patrick Stewart's name brought up, I saw this a couple days ago online, and I'm pretty sure it's real, that when he first was going to play Picard, they wanted to see what he looked like with hair, so they put a hair. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So that is real?
Ago. Yeah.
It's so weird looking seeing him with hair.
Well, or was this during casting?
Yeah.
I think because it's been a long time. So
no, I think he was cast. I think he got the part, but before they started shooting, they were like, well, let's just see what it would look like.
I remember, so when we do the big the Trek conventions, they do like blooper reels and different stuff like that. I think they had done reels like that. It's been a lot of years.
Let's just see if I can find it. I don't know. Oh, there it is. That's what I was thinking of. So let's go to images. This is what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
It wouldn't be the same, yeah. But I think there's a video clip. I think that came from a video clip.
Am I hovering over the share button? Can you see?
Yep. Down just a little bit. There you go.
There we go. Look at that. I mean, that is just...
It's not the same.
It's just not. It looks like a totally different person. And you can tell he's just like, all right, smirk, haha. But that is so weird. Like, because I've never seen him with hair. Now, you guys have never seen me with hair, but I have. So I can still picture myself when I used to have hair. So I imagine if somebody did that really well to me, you guys would be like, what the hell? I wish I knew somebody that could do really good hair, like makeup or whatever, wig stuff. Because I'd seriously be like, all right, let's do this just to see what it looked like.
You know, maybe you find somebody locally that do it for you, and we'll get you a nice Renaissance fair costume, and you can go with us, and you can have the full goatee beard and the long locks. You could be one of the Three Musketeers.
Now you're just being silly. And
don't think so.
Fun of me. I don't need your harsh words. Wow, looks like a dork with hair, right? Exactly. I mean, that's what Dennis looks like with hair,
right?
A dork with hair. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw, AJ noticed you got a haircut, which surprises the shit out of me because he told me he was getting a haircut and he shows up and I'm like, I thought you were getting a haircut.
Dude, he's like, she didn't even cut anything off. I'm like, I watched the tumbleweeds of hair come rolling down. Oh, yeah, no, she cut a lot off. And he goes, you didn't get anything cut. I'm like, I did. So thank you, AJ, for noticing.
Please. I still don't buy it. Well, guys,
tell them what are we going to go see it? I think we're going to go see it.
We are going to go see Elvis. A blue suede shoes.
The trailers have looked good. We've only heard a couple of feedbacks. I'm trying to stay away from it because I want to keep an open mind.
Marcus noticed the haircut too.
Thank you, Marcus.
Actually, I don't think AJ did. I think Marcus did.
Oh.
My bad. Sorry about that. Nobody notices when I get a haircut. That's because I don't drop my pants in front of you people. Oh!
It never ends.
It never does. So we're going to go see Elvis. Elvis will not leave the building until the movie is over, so hopefully it's good. I've heard Tom Hanks isn't great in it.
I don't want to hear that. I just want to go see it and see if it's any good.
I know. That's what I want to see him die on the throne. I hope they touch on that.
I hope they at least put in a little bit of original clips. You know, that
I would actually hope
to see it. At least after credits.
I'll be honest. I would hope that at some point the actor playing Elvis, they actually have him with prosthetics and stuff, get heavy. Later Elvis. Because in the trailer, you don't see any of that. But I hope they do.
I hope they do it, and I hope they get it up to the point, because he died at, I believe, age 42.
That's
so
right.
I hope that they have it where they go up through that. But so we are going to go see it right after we leave here.
I should get a manscaping sponsor.
If you're going to watch Elvis, don't watch Elvis Review. Okay, well that's
EVS.
kind of
Ethan's review.
Oh, EVS. Okay, Ethan reviewed it. Yeah, I won't watch it.
No, we're going to go see it as soon as we log off.
And then we might be able to, I don't know, Andy has to leave. Maybe we can hop on tomorrow for a quick Elvis review or something. If not, we'll have to do it next week. But then next week, I know we're going to go see Love and Thunder.
Love American Style.
I don't know. I am kind of torn on the next Thor movie. I hope it's good. I did enjoy Ragnarok, so I hope it's in that vein.
I know. I'm hoping it is. So we will see. You two guys have fun. We will have fun.
We will.
And we will catch you guys. Like I said, you never know. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But until then, bye, everybody. And we'll leave you with this.